Hey, I think we're the lucky charm. We are the lucky charm for Foxy.
Yeah, I love this theory.
Yeah, because both times when he's in a playoff or in contention to win a PGA tournament, we have been recording the Agenda podcast, watching him. I mean, potentially the podcasts in audio medium have been the worst possible scenario. It's like listening to Matt Heath while he's watching the cricket doing a radio show.
Well, it's the chicken or the egg, isn't it? What came first? Is it Foxy in the playoff hole, or is it us, the Agenda podcast? Because I think some would say maybe that Foxy is going to be playing the whole, that's either way, whether or not we turn our mics on and the cameras on is in, retaliation to that. But I'd like to set the record straight and say that it's us first.
Yep.
We start podcasting, and then Foxy wins.
So he's won $5.52 million. $4.7 million of that has been lost across just his last 5 tournaments.
I was going to ask you, his last 6 months feels extremely successful, and now you've said it like that. It clearly is. He is peaking right now, baby.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say that in a negative sense. I don't mean that, this is as good as it gets. It could get so much better, but he really is on a flyer right now.
He is the best of us because, when we say this, he looks like one of us.
Yep.
In terms of, he plays like one of us.
Oh,
in terms of, obviously he's a lot better, but he plays ready golf.
Yeah.
He gets up, slams the ball, moves on, hits the odd bogey because he just goes for hell for leather. And he's a good dude, and he's relaxed, and he's humble. I'd love the guy, and I can't wait to talk to him tomorrow.
It feels like if there was a guy that was made for a dynamic like a playoff hole in golf, it's him, isn't it? Because he's just so relaxed, and he's quite happy to just go, you know what, we'll just do this. I mean, they played 3 playoff holes yesterday.
Yeah, they were on the 4th playoff hole when he decided, you know what, fuck this, I'm driving the green.
3 wood straight at it.
3 wood straight at it. And then he forced the hand of old Montgomery Burns. And Montgomery Burns fluffed his. But, but that was a great shot. Within 8 foot of the pin, they changed the pin position down to the bottom of the hole. There was all sorts going on. Great to see because I really want to ask him as well because golf is full of fuckwits.
Yep.
And there must be so many of them on the professional circuit.
I think so too.
How you keep away from them and surround yourself by GCs. And you could see all the All Whites there. Loving it. No doubt he would have gone out and had a few beers with them.
Yeah.
Hopefully he celebrated better than he did after Myrtle Beach when he had a frozen pizza and a Snickers or something.
That's right, and a bottle of wine.
We'll find out tomorrow, though.
We're having a chat to him tomorrow, and then we'll release that chat on Saturday. I'm so keen to hear how he's getting on. I imagine he's riding high.
He's off to the US Open.
I know, but
he's secured his spot in the Masters next year as well.
Is he the type of guy to go, shit, now that I'm off to the US Open, I better hit the range for the next 3 days?
Nah.
He's not, is he?
Nah, I think he'll probably rest up for a bit because before he hits that. But shit, it was good to watch.
It was so good to watch.
It made everyone's Monday. If you had a big weekend, that brought you out of it.
So US Open this weekend?
Now, is it this weekend?
I thought it was.
Is it?
I think Marty was talking about it out in the office like it was this weekend. But having said that, he gets so excited about golf. It could be happening in 3 years. He's that excited.
He'd know, though. I think it might be, but also that might put a scupper on us talking to him, wouldn't it? Because he committed to talking to us last week before he won this tournament.
We've currently got him, if it means anything to anyone, Wednesday midday our time. And his original plans at the time, actually, I could probably
it's June 12th to the 15th. It's this weekend.
The WhatsApp actually communique could be quite good to share here. So there were issues with timings. He believed last week that he was going to be in Florida on Wednesday. I wonder if that's changed.
Oh, yeah. Well, where's the US Open? The US Open is in the Oakmont Country Club, and that is in Texas.
Okay. So there might be a different time zone we're operating with there. I'll reach out.
Yeah, that's
I
good.
sent him a message last night at 8 o'clock saying, anything new, mate? Question mark.
He'd be like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, I know.
He would have been inundated with messages.
Can you imagine when he wins a tournament, the New Zealand media circle would just be on him like a gannet on a chip?
Yeah, well, I'd like to think that we predicted it, so that's why we booked him in 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's right.
I
think we might still have him. He is that type of guy.
He is. He's a real GC.
Where he might be coming in from, Florida or Texas,
and
that's not important.
Also, speaking of big names, we might have Sean Johnson a bit later on. We're just trying to coax him into the studio. A little bit of hesitancy to come to the ACC, but I think we might be able to convince him.
What's it called when someone comes in and does the rounds via all the radio stations?
That's the car wash.
The car wash. That's
the media car wash.
The media car wash.
Yeah. He went to the Hodaki. He's been on ZB.
Hit him on ZB this morning.
Biscuits.
Jesus.
Wheat biscuit. Oof.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's just, Mike wasn't keen to kind of ask any kind of pressing question.
Yeah, well, let's see if we can get more out of him. We just have to cajole him in here.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the only issue there. Righto, let's get into this. It's live from the Export Beer Garden Studios. This is the Agenda Podcast for Tuesday, the 10th of June.
The Agenda Podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
I was just thinking there, it's the 10th of June. The US Open starts on the 12th of June. So I don't know if he's going to be available.
If we chat to him tomorrow, that is huge.
That'd be huge if we did.
That's as big as it gets. But now you're right. The more we talk about this, the more concerned I am.
Yeah, it's going to be the day before the US Open. He's probably got bigger things to worry about.
And we've asked for an hour of his time as well.
He's probably got an hour.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And he was happy to do that. But again, he hadn't won a tournament and he wasn't going to the US Open a couple of weeks ago when we booked this in.
Oh.
So Daniel Vettori, mate, friend of yours.
Yes, and I've seen
receiving higher honours once again.
Yeah, he's been inducted into the ICC Hall of Fame. He's
the fourth ever New Zealander.
Yes, he joins Hadley, Crowe, and I think Debbie Hockley.
I was going to ask you if you could name the other three.
Yeah,
and you've nailed it.
Yeah, and he's been inducted alongside a couple of South African wounders in Hashim Amla and Graham Smith.
Right.
And MS Dhoni and Matt Hayden for Australia.
Okay.
So interesting bunch to get in there with. Also, women's greats, you'd know that he's played. Sana Mir of Pakistan and England's Sarah Taylor.
Sarah Taylor from England. Yeah,
but what it has done is really piqued Joe Jury's interest because he's reposted a photo of me and Vettori at our school ball. And we're talking 95 here.
Where can I see this?
I've been sent it several times. Laura McGoldrick's also sent it to me. Once again.
My God.
See, that's me on the far right in the Ren and Stimpy waistcoat.
So hang on. Jesus, you know when...
There's a lot going on in there. There's a lot going on.
There is a lot. Look at Vitters. Holy shit.
There's a lot going on there.
Who's in the gloves?
There's a couple of people in gloves.
There is.
There's Was a Peacock.
Was a Peacock the guy in the backwards cheese cutter?
No, the backwards cheese cutter. That's Glenn Holmes.
Okay, that's Glenn Holmes.
Because look at it. Let's just check it's Glenn Holmes. Backward cheese cutter is Glenn Holmes. The sunglasses is Håkan Steele.
And then look at Håkan who?
Steele.
I mean, what a bunch of weapons is in this photo. So you've got, I mean, you and Vitters running a very similar kind of hairstyle, similar outfit. Was there a conversation that you guys had about bow ties?
Similar outfit?
Well, you've both got bow ties on, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I've got a Ren and Stimpy waistcoat. That was, that went along with my Ren and Stimpy satin boxer shorts. We're talking 95 here.
Is this what you're wearing?
95. How many years ago is that? 20 years ago?
I've heard people say in the past, G Lane, to me that you look the exact same at high school as you do now. I mean, I've seen this photo.
I almost look older there. Very ruddy. Look, I mean,
you were the oldest looking 18-year-old I think I've ever seen.
I had to boil the piss, let's be honest. I was the one that was sent into Bird's liquor safe in Hamilton.
I tell you what, there's
Raymond Bird.
Absolute weapon. So who's on the left?
It's Wazza. Is that the far left as was?
Yeah, okay.
And then Vettori.
Yeah,
so, I mean, you can pick Vettori out.
You definitely can.
6'3" of gangliness and glasses and.
He was quite tall, wasn't he?
And then you go Håkan Steele with the speedies.
Yep.
And then you got Glenn Holmes with the backwards can goal. The backwards can goal.
Great group.
And then you got me,
weapons.
Arms folded, red bow tie with a Ren and Stimpy waistcoat.
Any stories from that night that we should know about? Or
well, funnily enough, we used to have we were allowed alcohol at our school balls.
Oh man!
So we were served booze. So we were allowed 4 drinks.
So hang on, you weren't only allowed it; you were served.
Yeah. And I was part of the ball committee. This is the best part. You would put your mates who wants to run the ticketing system at the front, which meant like your mates were at the front giving out the 4 tickets, and then every time someone went past you that you knew or your mates go.
Oh, you give them a few extra.
Give them like 8 or so.
What were you drinking at the time? Was it just
a lot of Max?
Yeah.
But
you could just drink unlimited piss at your school ball.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't unlimited.
Well, times have changed.
Times have changed.
I went to a school ball not that long ago. Well, actually, no, quite a while ago. I want to make that very clear. It was, when I should be going to a school ball. I think it was Rangiruru. There was breath test on the way in.
What?
That's how much that. And that was about 20 years after that photo was taken.
This is Hamilton.
Yeah,
this is Hamilton. They breed them different in Hamilton.
Still happening in Hamilton.
Yeah, it's still. I guarantee it's still happening. But Vettori's in the Hall of Fame. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you get for that. Do you get a pension or something? I don't know. Or
is that what that means?
Do you get free tickets to all the ICC games?
There might be a free ticket in there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's he up to these days, Vitters? Is he still coaching in Oz?
He's Aussie hard. He's just come back from the IPL. He's coaching the IPL team. And now, he's getting ready for the Ashes, I guess.
Yeah, but
which
he
are
is
coming up at the end of the year in Australia.
Yeah.
Pretty sweet job being the assistant test bowling spin coach.
Fucking Ryan Fox can give us 45 minutes of his time, which I admit he hasn't done yet.
Yeah.
In between quite a busy week. Then the least you could do, Vitters, is fucking give us 45 minutes of your time.
If he's around in Auckland, I just have to get him in under false pretenses.
Right.
So I need to get him in and say, hey, come and have a chat to Wells and I. We don't want to talk about a golf trip away. And then we suck him in, honey trap him, get him in here and start talking. Otherwise, the cunt won't come in.
Okay.
So
we've got to come up with
very
some
elusive.
Okay.
He's elusive like that. And I've bullied him a few times to be on Hodaki. And he comes on and he goes, I'm only here because Lane's made me come on here because he's got too much against me. So I have to. So only occasionally if I flex with you better come on or we'll talk about this.
Blackmail him with the dossier or something.
Yeah, but
like
then
that.
he comes back and go, I've got your phone numbers. I've got your wife's phone number. Okay, so it's just one dial away.
Okay.
And so, it's basically self-destruct. Both of us. We could both self-destruct.
Right, so if we find some dirt, maybe we can get him in at some point.
Yeah, look, I know, not dirt. I think we need to just honey trap.
Okay.
We need to honey trap him into the studio. As of yesterday's recording, we also got the news, and we chose Foxy over this news.
Yeah.
But Mark Robinson, CEO of New Zealand Rugby, has resigned. He's going to finish up at the end of the year. He's been there 6 years. Not overly surprised. He's been under a bit of heat, but I think it's just purely so there's too many Robinsons in the mix.
Right.
Because you got Mark Robinson, and then you got Scott Robertson as the head coach. So you got the two Robinson, and it's too confusing. So one had to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense. So you think there's been a clear out just because people can't tell the difference between Robertson and Robinson?
Yes, correct. And that's the reason why it's too confusing. So he's gone. And also there's too many Scots as well. There's Scott Hansen, who's part of the coaching setup too.
Yeah,
too many Scots, too many Robinsons. Okay, that's what New Zealand Rugby's problem is. Okay?
So what does this mean to me, G Lane? What does a new CEO of New Zealand Rugby mean to me?
Nothing, but I read Cleaver's article yesterday in the Bounce. Most likely they're going to go for a CEO that can put a foot in both the commercial side of the business and the operational side. Because at the moment, Robinson's probably very operational.
Okay.
They had a separate CEO, and the commercial side, who left after the disaster that was NZR Plus in buying all those NFTs of black ferns that really went off. What a
God, that was a shambles.
As soon as they got that money from Silver Lake, they went out and spent millions on NFTs, on Black Ferns NFTs.
So is NZR Plus also just now completely gone as well?
No, it's still there because I've invested too much in it. So, but it'd be interesting because the rugby rights have not been issued yet.
Right.
Sky usually get them, and they usually get them easily. Their exclusive negotiation period ended 6 months ago.
Right.
So it's still not announced. So potentially NZR might hold on to the rights, put it on NZR Plus, a lot of the stuff.
Okay, well that would be a bit of a changer. But
then they have to cover the production.
Oh, of course.
Is the Zone coming in? Is TVNZ going to be involved? Is it going to be Sky non-exclusive? Who knows? But so that might be a game changer for NZR Plus.
When do they have to decide that?
I don't know, but it's getting quite late.
I would have thought so too, yeah.
It's getting quite late because you think about it. I mean, they've got the rights to end of the Super Rugby, probably the All Blacks season, and they've got the India tour in November, but then Super Rugby starts in February.
Yep.
So it's less than a year away, and you haven't announced your major TV rights holder.
Okay, something to think about. Where does Mark Robinson, the CEO that has gone at the end of this year, rank within other CEOs? Is he doing a good job, a shit job? Do we never know?
Never know, because you don't know. I don't know.
You don't hear about these people, do you? Really?
He got a bit of a shit sandwich though, because he took it over just before COVID.
Yeah. Well, maybe he's done all right then.
Well, not really. The last few years, he hasn't managed to balance the books.
Maybe he's been a bit shit then.
And when he started, New Zealand Rugby owned 100% of their intellectual property.
And now how much?
Now they don't own all of it. Some American.
I mean, I could be wrong here, but it sounds like he might have had a bit of a shit.
I don't know. I think there's probably time for a new change here. They had this report that was put together independently about the governance of the game, which they pretty much ignored.
Jesus fucking Christ! There's something that I would not like to read.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, but they've taken none of those suggestions. But that's getting a bit too in the weeds. No one cares about
the nitty-gritty. Let's take a break and come back and chat some tennis.
Weeds, tennis, shit you. French Open wrapped up. And
Carlos
Alcaraz, he won, and old Sabalenka, she lost to Kokogov.
Yes.
And shit, she was salty. You've seen some of her interviews afterwards?
Very pissy.
Like, didn't even said that Kokogov was, the balls were like hitting the frame of her racket and still going in, and it's like, I played so terribly. It's like, jeez.
Okay.
Settle.
Yeah, hard.
Salty.
You lost a game. It's tough though in tennis, isn't it? Because they do there's a big award ceremony for still if you lose the final. There's always the plate, and then there's always the speech that you have to do, and there's always that congratulations you have to give to the other people.
Yeah,
and stuff
they
like
still
that.
have to collect their check for a couple of mil.
Yeah. Oh, true. Actually, yeah. So look, I can understand, but at the same time, come on, chill out. The tournament was actually quite a good one. Carlos Alcaraz is turning into the new Rafael Nadal, isn't he? He's a bit of a beast on clay.
One of the great finals, 5-setter. He came back from 2 sets down. I think he saved 3 match points.
Was it a couple of years ago when he came onto the scene in pretty much this tournament when he beat Djokovic and Nadal in the same tournament? I think it was the quarters and then the semis, and then he went on to win the whole thing.
It's when he was operating a sleeveless as well.
That's right. He looks good in a sleeveless, doesn't he?
He's gone back to the T-shirt, which I admire because he doesn't want to be like Rafa Nadal.
Was he wearing a long sleeve on?
Yeah. Oh, like when I say long sleeve, a T-shirt.
I thought he was wearing a long sleeve the other day. Okay.
Anyway, I've found something out about the French Open.
The
secret shame of the French Open. Because you know how it's like, they're bigger, they got these majors, clay court, blah, blah, blah. They aren't actually made of clay.
I have heard these rumours.
So they contain no clay soil in their courts.
Clay soil at all?
The top surface is red bricks.
Well, hang on, that's a little more.
So then the dust of those red bricks, okay, so the same bricks that he used to build houses all over France, underneath the dust, the brick dust, there's 4 more layers. So there's stone, crushed gravel, coal residue, and crushed white limestone.
What the hell?
And so the iconic red dust is then sprinkled over the top. So there's like 2 mil of the red dust on top.
2 mil?
Yes.
That's fuck all.
Yes. And then that's it. So it's made of bricks.
Has it always been that way?
Not always, but I think they've just purely for consistency, it's what they've done. I didn't know that, because I dived a bit deeper into it. I didn't realise that, because the grass courts in Wimbledon is obviously you've got to tend those like a mofo. Then, it's a lot of kind of, the groundskeepers must go hard.
Cutting, shaping, trimming.
But I didn't realise that they use the same. They use the same as it's not quite the same, but the clay courts you've got to get in the right conditions. They can't be too wet, otherwise it gets sticky. The clay gets all sticky.
Yuck.
They can't be too dry.
Too sandy.
Because then it plays too fast.
Right.
So it's just got to be the right conditions of moisture level. And they just use the vibe.
Okay.
They go with the vibe.
They pass the eye test.
They don't do any, there's no fancy like thermometers or any kind of moisture testing. It's just a vibe.
I like that. It's like, it's kind of like cricket in terms of the pitch. Is you've got to kind of, I don't know, play to your strengths a little bit in terms of you got to come out and you got to view the pitch, you got to have a look at it, you got to see how it's playing, and then you've got to kind of adapt to that. I like that.
Yeah, and there's one court at the French Open, one of the outer courts, that has issues with tree roots growing underneath it.
Ah.
So they've got to deal to that every now and then. So they've got to kind of water it, soften it up, and flatten it out.
That's good.
A couple of them are temporarily built over the top of car parks.
So this is great. Roland Garros is just a bit of a school project.
So but then they have different moisture problems with that one because the concrete creates a different moisture level than, say, the ground or a tree.
So the consistency of those courts at Roland Garros is probably not there, but that's what makes it almost just...
Yeah, but then you've got the guys do the vibe test to go out and go, I need a bit more water here.
Yeah, is that what they do?
This is too wet.
Fuck, that would be a good job though, wouldn't it? It's just need it's a bit dry out here, boys.
I can imagine the French. It's
a bit dry. They're always asking for more moisture, though, aren't they?
Always smoking a tiny little cigarette.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's some tennis golf. There's some tennis water cooler chat for you.
Yeah, that was
good.
You
can stroll up and go, oh, g'day, Evan. Oh, g'day. I'm like, yeah. Did you know at French Open, the whole clay court, that's all bullshit. It's not even clay.
There you go.
It's bricks, which makes it sound like, what, they're playing on fucking bricks.
Remember the 2 millimeters thing, because that's really interesting.
Yeah, and then, but they've got the other, obviously, the other layers that make it all...
What is coal residue?
That's a good question. It must just be, it can't be coal dust, but it must be just some sort of... I'm not sure why they use coal residue. Maybe that's something to do with the moisture.
Yeah, maybe.
Moisture intake.
Oh, well. Formula One.
Oh, yeah. Did you read all this?
Yeah. Shit going down.
So, okay. Max Verstappen, being a naughty boy.
He is.
So when you're a Formula 1 driver, you get the super license.
Can we just clarify really quickly, is this to do with the George Russell pushing off the track?
Yes, so you get a super license, which is kind of weird. You get issued a super license, And for naughty driving or being naughty, being bad, you get demerit points like you do on the open road in New Zealand or wherever. You know, the police can say, you're speeding, you've got a $1,000 fine and 20 demerit points.
I did not know this. This is already interesting to me.
So what about the demerit points?
No, about the
So the super license.
About the super license.
The super licenses, and so if you do something silly on the course, almost cause an accident or cause an accident, they can issue these penalties.
Of course there's something like this. I never thought of that.
And you're allowed 12 over the 12 months. Anything more than that, and you get suspended for a race.
So you start the season or the year with 12.
No, it's a rolling thing. So over a 12-month period, you cannot exceed 12 penalty points.
Gotcha.
So currently, Van Strapon has 11 against him. If he hits 12, he gets suspended for a race.
Right.
So he has to survive 2 more races, the Canadian and the Austrian Grand Prix, before the first points start to expire over that 12 months.
Gotcha.
So if he fucks up, if he goes full strap-on in Canada or in Austria, then they're going to need someone to sit in his seat for him for a race because he's going to be suspended.
So did he end up receiving some points for that incident?
Yeah.
How many do you know?
I don't know. You just get one, I think.
Okay, just one at a time.
Yeah, but he's received quite a few. To get up to 12 over a 12-month period, he's been driving like a maniac.
That seems impressive.
Because I've not heard of someone getting suspended for this at all, but I'm only like a fly-by-night F1 fan kind of drive to survive anyway.
Same. But the reason that this is exciting to us is because if he has to take a race off, which I assume is the ramifications if you do exceed this 12-point margin.
One more point and he's done.
So
for one race.
Is Liam Lawson going to be back in a Red Bull number 1 car?
That's what they're saying, but I'm like, I don't believe that. It's like...
Well, he's not racing the best out of the 2 drivers on the Racing Bulls, is he?
But the argument is he's got experience in the Red Bull car, so that almost puts him above Nicky Hadger.
Which is, I suppose, fair. I mean, I'm rooting for it.
Would he want to, though? Does he want to get back on that wild horse? Because it sounds like the Racing Bulls car's heaps easier to drive and actually quite quick compared to the fucking Van Strapon created Red Bull car.
I mean, I think the Horn Dog's going to be terrified because he's got Sonoda down the back end of the pack that can't get a result really in this number 1 Red Bull. This Red Bull car could get found out if Max takes a game off because they've been so a race off because they've been so fortunate that he keeps somehow scraping
points and
some decent points because he's just such a good driver. But there is a chance that the next person gets in this number 1 Red Bull car, they have a shitter. All of a sudden, they're finishing 12th and 16th with Yuki and someone else, and they're in a real spot of bother.
Surely they go Hadger. I mean, he's outraced Lawson, unfortunately, all year.
Oh, yeah.
Or not all year, well, since Lawson's return. But yeah, that's the rumour, so that's going to add a bit more spice.
So he's going to be on his best behaviour for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah. Canada and Austria, look out for it, because if Van Strapon goes full Van Strapon, then we could have a little situation on our hands. They have got another reserve driver that they can use.
Who's that?
I don't know. I've forgotten his name.
Okay.
Someone you wouldn't know.
Right.
Or you could bring back old mate from Australia.
Daniel.
Ricardo.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's still knocking around.
What's he up to now? Because
he's pesting around.
There were talks of him in NASCAR, eh?
Oh, was it that big? That's not a bad idea because the Americans love him.
Well, the sponsorship money will keep coming in for someone like him.
He's massive in America.
Yeah.
Because that first series of Drive to Survive.
It was all him, eh?
He was pretty much the only driver who agreed to it.
Yeah, he was the main character in that shit.
So, and they love him over there. So potentially, or just chuck him back in in the Red Bull just for one race, just for good old time's sake.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Copped a lot of strays yesterday, predictably. Also copped one this morning from Angus Tatavau on the Hauraki Breakfast Show. They interviewed him about the weekend's game.
Oh, okay.
And fucking Mania and Jeremy Wells just massively throw me under the bus.
In what way?
They said ACC Head G Lane has put a fork in the Blues for the last 6 weeks, saying you're out of here, you're rubbish. And it's like, I'm pretty sure they agreed with me every time I said that.
Yeah, no, they did.
Yeah.
We all did, actually.
And so they threw me under the bus, and then they told Angus Tatavau how great the Blues are and how they're going to win. And I'm like,
right, okay.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, that's classic Wells, though, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah, no, that is classic Wells. Yeah. I mean, what did Angus say? Did he say "fuck you, G Lane" kind of vibe?
Not really. He's like, oh, it's interesting, and then he kind of carried on. But you could tell that it's one of those things that if you ever bumped into them, they go, "Hey, Dick,"
that'll come back to haunt you.
Yeah, he's a big unit too.
Okay, so you're feeling a bit fragile this morning.
Yeah, a little bit because they copped all those sprays yesterday as well, which I was expecting.
So and go easy on the yours, pleases.
And I'm still copping sprays from you and Joe Jury, you Canterbury pieces of crap. Like, And then you like, calm down. I'm like, no, I'm passionate about it.
Yesterday.
I'm passionate about it. This is what we should do more of. And one thing Angus Tartvale said this morning, actually, which was interesting on Haraki Breakfast, he said he's loving the hot takes that Rico and Mike Hosking Satutu are throwing out there.
Oh, he's
social.
loving them, is he?
He's like, he goes, I'm a big fan of American sport, and it's so much of what makes American sport great is young people having the confidence to go out and have an opinion and just say what they want.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck yeah. And he says, and if everyone's talking about footy and talking about something, then fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And it adds a storyline to it. So I agree with him. It's like, keep them coming.
Are more people talking about Rico's social media posts than they are talking about his rugby playing, though?
Well, who cares?
No, I don't care.
It's like a UFC fighter. Like some UFC fighters are better at press conferences than they are at fighting.
Oh, yeah.
But I watched the press conference over the fight because I want to see them just throw shade at each other. And even if they aren't fighting each other, they still throw shade at each other. It's like there'd be like a heavyweight giving a featherweight shit about whacking off to anime porn or something. And then I'll be like, fuck, this is good. This is a bunch of hotheads. We need to do that. That's why we need like some beef this weekend. I mean, Brumbies aren't going to react.
No, Brumbies won't do shit.
But maybe Blues Crusaders
Blues will go off, I reckon.
Yeah, and I love the comment that Vern Cotter made, the 30-0 record. And he's like,
I hate stats like that.
And he's like, yet.
That shit pisses me. I hate stats like that.
It's like the All Blacks South Africa game at Eden Park.
Eden Park, yeah.
That's going to be another one. That's where everyone's like, oh, okay.
Anything could happen. I mean, I know we're not here right now to talk about Super Rugby this weekend, but I am genuinely nervous about Super Rugby this weekend.
Yeah, well, I will.
After seeing what the Blues did to your boys over the weekend, I'm not super stoked about that. How the fuck you've ended up with the Brumbies? Anyway, not the point.
It's a good result for us.
Yours, please.
It's a good result. More abuse? What is it? Yours, please.
Yeah. How are we, Ballbags?
Good, mate.
Fucking just got a quick question for you guys.
Yeah, all right.
G Lane, you wouldn't have been at the Chiefs game on the weekend, would you? Because, fuck, how else would the Chiefs bottle that? Thought it was easy pickings going to those last couple minutes, but nah. But yeah, just keep the fuck away from FMG Stadium, would you? Thanks. Fuck Canterbury.
Oh, okay. That yours, please. The first half of that yours, please sounded exactly like what Joe Jury and I sounded like giving you shit yesterday.
Yeah, correct. Look, let's be fair. I haven't been to FMG Stadium or FML Stadium
in quite some time.
All year.
All year?
All year. I haven't been there. So you can't blame anything on me.
Yeah.
Come the final, yeah, I might be there.
Are you really going to go over the final?
Yeah.
You're actually going to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that brings me so much more joy than you'll ever realise. Because if the Crusaders...
No, if we're hosting the final, you're out.
Oh, we're out. Yeah, because it's going to be a
Blues.
Fuck.
Yeah. So it'll give me even more satisfaction. I'll invite you guys, but I won't have tickets.
Hopefully you won't have the chance.
I'll tell you at the gate. I'll say, come up. And then I forgot your tickets. And then I'd make you stay in Hamilton.
Look, mate, I'm going to be in a tough position if the Crusaders go down this weekend, which, we're just hypothetically putting out there. I don't want to put it into the universe. But if that's the case, I am going to be... It's going to be so tough deciding who I want to win the final. The Blues or the Chiefs? I fucking
really? The
hate
Blues
the
won
Blues.
last year. They've won it. They've had it.
I hate the Blues.
Exactly. And the only reason you hate the Chiefs is because
of
you.
Yeah. And my deep-seated hatred for you. Yeah.
Don't let that guide you. Don't let your hatred of me
there might
blur.
be a chance now we've said this. There might be a chance that next weekend I'm wearing a Chiefs jersey come Saturday.
Good. Now we got you. Next one, yours, please.
G'day, boys.
G'day.
This has no relevance to anything you guys have been talking about ever.
Oh, okay.
But it's come to my attention quite often. Whenever you see a European couple touring New Zealand in a juicy van or the likes, why the fuck is this grim-looking creature with a 10 out of 10? Always these hot Europeans with these fucking ugly blokes. What are they doing? God, it fucks me off. Fuck South Europe.
Just drugs,
Well,
mate.
you've got to get up to Scandinavia. That's what you got to do.
Yes,
you get up to Scando, and if you're a dude and you're a 4, you're in Scando. You're an 8.
Right, is that how it works?
Yeah, because there's so many other hotties.
Oh, okay.
So
I haven't spent any time in that part of the country, but I can imagine what this guy's talking about.
Yeah,
he is right.
He's
He is
talking
right.
Scandos. Yeah, you got to go up there and just see for yourself.
I think you could put a slightly more positive spin on that and just be thankful that, unfortunately, there are some nations around the world that the ladies are just so much hotter than the dudes in those areas.
Scandinavia is one of them.
And it's just one of them.
Yeah.
Like everyone's going to be punching when you've got that kind of gene pool situation operating.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I thought that talkback was going to go down the David Wayne Tamihiri route, but it didn't. It was way more wholesome.
Yeah, that was so much nicer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yours, please. Next one.
I'm one of the 10 people that, watch the podcast on YouTube.
Oh.
And
One of the 10.
Masher's really enjoying those toys that Morg's brought in for you guys, especially the one with the teeth. So I recommend everyone go check out the YouTube channel, check out those visuals, and enjoy those, Smash. Go well. It's good stuff.
Oh,
man. There's a lot to go over here.
So, yeah, I forgot that it was on YouTube. There's only about 10 people watching on YouTube, mainly. But if you can go watch it on YouTube, you're more than welcome. And you can check out, you were playing with was it the blowy thing?
I can't remember. It was the Fuck Me Silly toy that we were given by Morgan Penn, sexologist.
I tell you what, I thought I was going to lose that to Lee Hart, to be honest.
Yeah, did you see the way he was looking at it?
Yeah, he was kind of like, and he put his fingers into it, and you could see him go,
and his breath kind of got heavier.
Yeah. I haven't seen it.
He started purring. He purrs, doesn't he, Lee?
I haven't seen it for a while.
Yeah, but no, you can go and checking out the Fuck Me Silly sex toy that I was given by Morgan Penn. But I mean, I don't think you have to.
Wow.
I think there's probably better things to watch.
You probably should.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you wanted, that's fine. And also, I mean, we're just going to address the elephant in the room. Lovely to hear a female via the talkback function.
I didn't know we had any. But
I didn't know we had any either. That's why I'm so excited about this.
But thank you. And welcome to all of our YouTube viewers. Anyway.
Oh, God, let's change the game now. I know that females are listening.
All 6 or 7 of you. Okay. Next. Last one. Yours, please. Tractor. Combine harvester. Definitely a tractor.
Yeah, those rumble strips ain't bad.
Another rumble strip fan.
Yeah, that was in reference to you yesterday, saying that you used to drive across the rumble strips on the side of the road because you liked the way that it would feel on your testicles.
And I'd get a travel dog.
Yeah. Do you know when I was driving home yesterday?
Did you try it?
I did. And it felt better than I thought it was going to feel. But I never really zoned in on my testicle feeling while doing it. But I advise that everyone who listens to this podcast, man or woman, I think there might be something in it for the woman as well.
There's something in it for the ladies as well. I remember driving along with an ex-girlfriend on the open road, and I shifted to the left and went over the rumble strip, so it was on the passenger side. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And I went, "Housewife's favourite."
Oh, come on.
And she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Don't worry." Moved back into the...
And did she give you any feedback? Was she like, "Oh, that was..."
She was like, "What the fuck
are you doing, you pervert?"
I was like, "I was on the rumble strip,
yeah,
you know?"
Yeah.
Did you? And she's like, "Nah."
Yeah.
Also, another game I play on the road is trying to change lanes on a motorway without hitting the cat's eyes.
I always do that. I love that. That's one of my favourite things to do. Yeah. And then if you do it on accident and you haven't been focusing on doing it, you're like, "Oh,
nailed it.
Fuck, that feels good."
It's like playing Frogger, and and you can go. There's one of two ways.
It's so weird that you play that. I always thought that I was just kind of doing that on my own, in my own head.
Nah, I'd have made it just to do it, but he used to do it way too aggressively. So he'd indicate to change lanes or whatever, but he would see the gap and he would go, and he'd like quickly move the car until we were straddling it.
Yeah.
And then he'd wait for the next gap, and then so he'd do it in two parts, but
I've
really
never done that.
But really aggressively. Whereas I go for I try for the smooth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it does mean that you don't get it as often, right?
Yeah.
It's
it's way cooler to do.
It's quite a rarity for me to be able to actually do it. That's so good that everyone else does that.
Yeah.
Right. I always thought that was just me kind of floating along the road trying to intersect the cat's eyes.
But I also do see, when I see someone riding the rumble strip, I have a little snigger to myself.
Yeah,
it's like there's some dude up there with a massive travel dog.
Yeah, he's got the perineum going.
Yeah, he's just...
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, and you can do it at home if you want. You stick the dryer on spin and just jump up there.
Yeah.
You can do that too.
Or just shove a dilly up there.
Oh, you could do that. It's a bit extreme.
It is a bit extreme.
Hey, we're going to knock this on the head and we see if we can go and grab Shawnee J.
I think that would be a great
outside
idea.
Wandering around and get him in, but we'd have to probably maybe release it separately because I'm not sure we're going to get it on this one.
Okay.
But otherwise, we'll catch you tomorrow.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.